In the fading years of the 18th century, the world of writing and drawing was a world of frustration. For the artist, the architect, the scholar, the humble pencil was a tool of quiet desperation. Its heart was a rod of pure, natural graphite, a rare and precious substance. This graphite was a monopoly of England, mined from the depths of Cumbria, cut into square rods, and sold at a price that made the common pencil a luxury. The rest of the world was left to scrape by with inferior sticks of impure, gritty lead that scratched and crumbled, a poor substitute for a dream that in the heart of the Austrian Empire. In Vienna, a man named Joseph Hardtmuth knew this frustration intimately. He was not a merchant or a factory owner by birth, but an architect of considerable talent, serving the powerful Prince of Liechtenstein. His hands, accustomed to drafting pens and fine drawing tools, knew the value of a perfect line. In 1790, driven by a restless ambition, he established a small factory for stoneware ceramics. But his true obsession, the problem that gnawed at his inventive mind, was the pencil. How could one create a perfect writing instrument without relying on England's guarded treasure? Hi there. Click the Generate button below to listen to this short example generated by our AI text-to-speech engine. For 12 years, in the quiet hours away from his architectural duties, Joseph toiled. His workshop became a laboratory of clay and dust. His great insight was to look not for a substitute for graphite, but a way to stretch it. He began to experiment, grinding the low-quality, dusty graphite that was readily available, and mixing it with something far more common. Fine clay, or kaolin, the very material he used for his ceramics. It was an alchemy of the mundane. He would blend the black powder with the white clay, adding water to form a dark, dense paste. He pressed this mixture through a tiny die to create thin, fragile strands, like black spaghetti. Then came the crucial step, firing them in a kiln just like pottery. The heat transformed the mixture, fusing the graphite particles within a matrix of hardened clay. In 1802, Joseph Hardtmuth stood before a miracle of his own making. He held in his hand a pencil lead that was not carved from a rare stone, but crafted from common earth. It wrote smoothly, it was strong, and most importantly, it was not a fixed thing. By simply changing the ratio of clay to graphite, he could command the very soul of the lead. More clay, fired hotter, and the lead became hard and precise, perfect for drafting the fine lines of an architect's blueprint. More graphite, and it became soft and velvety black, a tool for the artist's shading and the writer's flowing script. That he had not just made a pencil. He had invented the modern pencil, and with it, the very concept of graded leads. He had broken the English monopoly with a recipe of dirt and fire. He secured a patent for his invention, and the foundation was laid. After Joseph's death in 1816, his sons, Karl and Ludwig, inherited their father's genius and his ambition. They knew that Vienna, a city of culture and commerce, was a fine place to sell, but it was not the ideal place to make. They looked south, to the rolling hills of Bohemia, to the town of Budějovice, Budweis in German. There, in 1848, they found their promised land. Vast deposits of the purest kaolin clay, endless forests of softwood for the pencil's wooden coat, and a river to carry their products to the world. The factory grew. Generations of Hardtmuths refined the art. But it was Joseph's grandson, Franz Hardtmuth, a man with a flair for the dramatic and a mind for marketing, who would catapult the family name into legend. At the Paris World's Fair of 1889, Franz unveiled a creation that was not just a pencil, but a statement. It was painted a brilliant, unmistakable yellow, a color of royalty and the exotic Orient, hinting at the graphite mines of legend, a color never before seen on a humble pencil. He gave it a name that resonated with the brilliance of a crown jewel, Koh-I Noor, after the fabled Mountain of Light diamond, the largest and most famous gem in the world, and he gave it a model number that spoke to its perfection. 1500. But the true genius lay in the system Franz built around it. He took his grandfather's invention and codified it for the world. The leads were available in an unheard of 17 degrees of hardness, from the softest, blackest 8B to the hardest, lightest 10H. And the letters he chose to mark them were not arbitrary. They were a secret signature, a family crest etched onto every pencil. The H stood for Hardtmuth, the family name. The B stood for Budějovice, the city of their Bohemian home. The F stood for Franz, his own name, marking the finest point he had made his family and their town the universal language of drawing. He then did something that defied logic. He priced his new, exquisite pencil at nearly 3 times the cost of its competitors. He was not selling a tool. He was selling the best tool in the world, a jewel, an object of desire. The world agreed. The Koh-I Noor 1500 was a sensation. It swept through the fair, winning medals and capturing imaginations. The little yellow pencil from Bohemia became the standard by which all others were judged. By the dawn of the First World War in 1914, the company Joseph Hardtmuth had started in a small Viennese workshop had become the largest pencil manufacturer on Earth. The 20th century brought upheaval. The family was parted from its creation after World War II when the company was nationalized by the new Czechoslovak state. But the name, the quality, and the iconic yellow pencil endured. After the fall of the Iron Curtain, the company was privatized again in 1992, and today it remains a global giant, its products still made in the very same Bohemian town that Franz Hardtmuth immortalized with a single letter. B. The story of Koh-I Noor is not just a story of pencils. It is a story of an architect who dreamed of a better line, a family who built an empire on a mixture of dirt and fire, and a grandson who had the audacity to name his creation after the world's most famous diamond, and succeeded in making it just as brilliant. It is a reminder that the most humble objects can hold the most extraordinary tales, and that the mountain of light still shines from the tip of a simple yellow pencil.